Financial disclaimer. The information Financial disclaimer. The information provided in this stream is for educational and informational purposes only and should not be considered as professional financial or investment advice. We are not licensed financial advisors, and the content presented here is based on our personal opinions and experiences.
Hey man, just found the next guaranteed multi-bagger.
Hey man, you found another one? What is it this time?
Come check this out.
Hey everyone, I will try to not mute myself this time. Sorry for that. It keeps happening. I don't know what's going on. I need to check into that. But when I switch the screen, I mute myself for some reason. Let me know. Let me know if you know how to fix that, because I'm so stupid that I didn't pay attention to my mic. It happened last time too. So I've had 2 streams in a row now where I muted myself. So thanks for letting me know, by the way. Yeah. Anyways, let's start over again then. That was very stupid. But I've been rambling on here for myself, I guess. But nothing big. I just saw there's been a bit rough start of 2024. Things are down, but this is where maybe you can get some opportunities as well. So hopefully we can go through and see if something has caught our eye and look at the fundamentals. I've already gone through the daily movers and picked out like 4 or 5 companies that I'm thinking about checking. And then I want to update the story on GT and ALTO. I saw there has been some commentaries on some of the articles. I saw Justin tweeted something about ALTO that I want to just read out and comment a little bit on. And yeah, that's the plan for the stream, and just maybe if we have time to check the news from the tracker and stuff like that. I'm here at the dashboard and I see some things are moving. Coal is up. I see Bitcoin is down, and I'm a bit surprised because I thought the ETF news with the Bitcoin would be a bit more bullish. But so far it has dropped again after, so I'm not sure. I still don't own any Bitcoin, and I'm not sure what's going on there, but still a bit up since the lows here in a short amount of time as well. So yeah, just tracking it, keeping an eye on it. I'm a bit interested in those ETFs though, so I will pay attention for that. I will keep an eye out for those ETFs when they get live, and how to. I feel like it's an easy way to trade it, but let's see what happens. I right now I'm just tracking it. Sugar is up, platinum is up. I saw on Twitter some guy saying that he was now short uranium. We were talking about uranium a little bit in past, and he claimed that he has like predicted all the highs. So I'm not sure if that's true or not, but I just saw him tweeting about it. So interesting, something to pay attention to, I think. Look at this chart, looks very good. Since March, almost all of last year, uranium has been bullish. So it makes a little bit sense if it now turns a bit and drops. But yeah, let's see where it goes. So in the daily, I saw a couple of companies. I pulled up CNTY, ASRT, BNED, FSM, BTU, SIFY, and MDC from the daily. And then I also saw an article from Kingdom on CKX, so I also pulled them up. But that was 1 hour ago, so maybe some more tickers has popped in here. And I had some trouble with my sheets today, so I've been working like for the last hour or so to try to fix the issues. They didn't pull in all the tickers, but I think I fixed it now. Yeah, so let's just quickly go through here. And by the way, if you're new to the stream, these black ones means that I've checked them out in the last 3 months, but not added them to the tracker. And the white ones means that I have checked them and they are already in my tracker. Just like some color coding, so I know what I've looked at before. Because we just go through so much in like a week and a month, you know. So I'm just checking now the ratios here, and also we have found a lot of things are now starting to be a bit more interesting, I think, but at the same time there's a lot of uncertainty. So yeah, it's risky these days, but maybe also you get some opportunities here. Now, I can't find anything other than the ones I've already pulled up. Maybe if we have time today, we can check Open Insider as well, and see if we can find some interesting stuff in the website. But let's just go to the fundamentals then. CKX, that's the first one, and I'm pulling it up because of Kingdom Capital. He wrote an article on it, where he basically is not predicting, but he talks about a full sale of the company, and that he lands on like a price of around $15. Right now it's trading at 13. Sorry, the assets are worth at least 15 without a carbon deal. The theory is that like there's some interest in the carbon capture project they have, and that GCS would want to acquire this one and just buy up the whole thing, because as you see on the fundamentals, they are not generating a lot of revenue and stuff like that. So when they are going to focus more on the carbon capture, they think they will just not spend too much time and just buy this up then. He's saying, my expectations is that the current owners have too much riding on this carbon project to continue devoting time to CKX, so a sale is a likely outcome. Prior work on this stock makes me confident the assets are worth at least 15 a share without the carbon deal, allowing for full incentive award vesting. With minimal disclosure on carbon disclosure, I view this as a possible but not likely source of additional upside. So maybe I got it a bit wrong. That maybe they're so focused on this carbon project that they want to get rid of this part of their business, because it's not like a very high revenue income from them for them. And you can see the book value. I don't see much on the fundamentals, and I think it's hard to predict assets. A sale of the company, but I will say that the Kingdom has had a similar thesis on VHI in the past, or not identical, but a bit similar, and he was spot on that. So something to pay attention to. You can read this article if you find it interesting. And follow Kingdom, is an excellent analyst. He knows his stuff, so definitely worth to pay attention on. But on a fundamental basis, not so interesting with these numbers. It's about selling the entire thing, you know. So we moved to CNTY, and I think we have done them before. It's a casino company, and they are now trading close to the 52-week low, 5% to the 52-week low. They are an international casino entertainment company which engage in the development and operation of gaming establishment, lodging, restaurant, horse racing, and entertainment facilities. It operates through the following segments: Canada, United States, Poland, and corporate and other. So it's a casino, and they host like horse racing stuff, and we have gone through them before. If you have followed the stream, you will remember this one. And I think we concluded with like it looked alright, and that there were potential here, but a bit expensive at the time. And now, of course, it has dropped a little bit more. So maybe it starts to be a bit more interesting down here than what it was when we spoke about it, which was in December, I think. So on the fundamentals, the cash generation is not bad at all. At least these 3 years here, you see, has been good for them. But they have taken up lots of debt and had some acquisitions that have made them grow a bit. You see revenue here has been a bit slow, and then it gets accelerated here, probably through these acquisitions and, you know, the pandemic and the tailwinds of that. But they are very levered. They have some cash to cover their near-term debt, but I would have to look into the longer-term debt here before I can say and you see the interest rate pretty high. And they have some due every year now, but most are a bit far into the future. So you know, this will be about if they can continue to generate these numbers of cash. Compared to the share price right now, it's not bad, but I need more. You see the free cash flow is negative, the capex is more, has grown. Book value, they trade below book value, but they trade above tangible book value. And they have some kind of dividend, and the earnings is negative for the year, but if you do the average, it's a bit positive. But right now, I think maybe I would say this is fair price. Has a drop today of 14%. I don't know. You could probably. Yeah, right now you could probably justify this price, in my opinion. And let's check the news here. Very few comments, so not a lot of people are talking about it. And another thing that I'm also interested in about casinos is how much. And I know Robert, he was on the stream last time, went through another casino company. But I wonder how much they can grow due to like legislations and stuff like that. And also the competition, of course. But I think this is a well-established company. But yeah, look at the depth and the increase in depth from here. And what is the margins on the single years? They are a bit down. Seems like last year was a good year for them. Maybe it's slowing down a bit now. If they had to get involved with Wiki by selling their Canadian casino, then buying them back means Wiki will end up with more than half of their Canadian profit in good years and all of their profit. They have nice, well-kept properties, but they're overloaded with as much debt and now more mortgages on CZRs. Would be good for them to have a 1-for-10 reverse stock split and get their stock price out of the penny stock on the 5, which is dominated by zombie companies near bank. Okay, so this guy has been to the venues and he likes them at least. But yeah, I find it a bit hard to say a lot about CNTY. I can say what I like. I like the share count is steady and they have revenue growth. But they do them through acquisitions, and you can see that they take on debt to acquire things. Which has, maybe they need to show more to stabilize a bit and see if their strategy of growth is gonna work, and they just need to continue to generate. Like these 2 years looks good, but now it can be viewed like it's dropping a little bit. So yeah, I wouldn't go in here, and I'm not gonna add it to the tracker here either. But if it drops down to like, yeah, I was gonna say like 150, it would catch my eye again, I think. But with that depth, then they might be in trouble. They might be in trouble then. And now so close to 52-week lows, and in this environment, it's a bit tricky for them, I think. If it takes out the low, maybe we will see a bigger drop. But I'm not sure what today's drop is about. But of course, a lot of things were red today. These articles are very, very old. Not a lot of people are writing about this. We can check like stock tweets or something like that. Very often there's noise at these sites, but yeah, not a lot there either. Yeah, anyways. I think they are still too expensive at these points. I would like them cheaper. So let's move on. ASRT. Oh no, it's a pharma. No, I'm not. Nope, not doing the pharma. I'm trying to sort them out, but sometimes they get in through my daily movers anyways, because I'm lacking the information about the industry. So my filter is like they can notice the industry, what the text is in the industry, and I filter it out based on that. So when the industry name is empty, they sneak into my daily movers, and they tend to look good at first glance, but I'm just not gonna deal with them. So I'm not gonna. I don't know anything about the industry or anything like that. I'm not confident to talk about them, so I'm just gonna move on here. I'm not interested in them either. But yeah, next one is BNED, which we have talked about now a lot lately, actually. Ranger Dane mostly, he has been involved in this, and he was even in it, but I think the drop today, which was a big one again, made him made a stop loss trigger. So I think he's out now completely. But we talked a little bit about it on text here before the stream, and I think he has done a little bit more research on what's going on, because we found it a bit weird that there was a news that sent it down like 60% or something, 50% in one day, and then it has just kept falling, and another 13% today. So it has been hammered down, and we found it a bit weird that news store article alone was the cause of all this. And we checked. He checked a little bit more into it, and it seems like the decision will be in November this year. So it's a long time till, and it's also based like if Biden, I think, was going to be re-elected for president, which is also not certain. So there was so many things in that news story that was a bit uncertain. So we couldn't really understand that it dropped so much, and thought it would be maybe an opportunity here, but then it has just kept dropping. And if that new legislation will hit them, it's a bit bad for the new platform, and I guess that's why it's dropped. But again, it may not, so who knows. But the conclusion, I think, for now is that there are opportunity here for sure, but until the summer, at least this year, it will be very tricky to read like a good entry. I think you will see more drops, and I think you will see some days that are very green, that it will jump and move around a little bit. I can pull up the chart here. So it's going to be hard, I think, to plan an entry. The 52-week low was here in October. Now it's very close to that again. And you can see the drop here from, yeah, it got up to 230 almost. And now down to 80 cents. And you know, Courage is involved. I saw Starbucks has commented on a question from Courage about this company. He was not a fan, but he said he was trying to trade it a bit now. I know other people are involved. Kingdom has written about them. They didn't fully agree. And by the way, I see like articles now in Courage and Convictions article, like people are starting to try to slam him, and I see that a lot going on in these things, and I wonder what are people trying to do? Like, yeah, even if it turns out to be wrong, I'm not saying that it's going to be wrong. I think there's opportunity here. I think the article is good. I know Courage does a fantastic job in his research, so he has been in touch with the management and stuff like that. So he's doing a great job, and he might be right here still, even though since the article hit, it's down. But that's how it is sometimes. And if you still believe in it, then that's where you get the opportunity to average down, which can be very good if it turns your way. But what I was saying is, like, people are starting to be negative and slamming him a bit and stuff like that, you know, and I just don't understand how that works. You must be never wrong then if you start to slam other people that are wrong one time or two times, like. And I see that a lot on these type of articles. It goes very quickly on the person instead of just discussing the stock. and I think it's a bit embarrassing, to be honest. But yeah, there's some new comments here. My take is that education is a regulated industry. I've got no problem with that. It's management's job to deal with these issues and as they come up, and they are used to it. So yes, this is an unfortunate curveball, but it's hardly a showstopper. It doesn't seem to be asking for the moon for students to tick a box. My guess is BNED has an advertising department to make that case. Besides, most times convenience wins. So this guy has re-entered, it seems like. And Courage has been still bullish, it seems like. But yeah, I think, and I saw Ranger Dane is also commenting a bit here. And yeah, he's saying that his position was stopped. So, but that he stands by what he said on the stream, because on Saturday he had or on Tuesday he had a stream where he went through it, and I think Saturday too. We have been talking about BNED for a while now. It's a hard one. It's a hard one. I would definitely use a stop loss if I went in now. But yeah, like I said, my prediction till you get more, like, it needs something now. It needs a catalyst. It needs insider buy. You need some new news, management coming out and guiding or commenting a bit on what's going on. Share, I'm not sure if they're going to buy back shares, but stuff like that, they need something. Because if the platform works out, and you know, students, they are everyone in the world actually, but you know, students always complain about them being poor, so they will save wherever they can. And if this is a good way for them to save money on books, they get everything, all the books that they need in one go, and they save money to buy it in that way. I think this platform can work out very well. And you saw the market did too on the chart from October. It was on the way up, but then that news came and it dropped a bit. So that's how it is. Right now, I think too risky. But I'm watching it, definitely watching it. And I know I'm speaking with Ranger Dane about it a lot, and I know he's watching it too. And you're probably going to hear us talk more about it in the future. But people are a bit scared that it's priced for bankruptcy now. It has debt, and they have pushed back the debt as well. So there's some risk there on the debt side. But yeah, some catalyst here, and if there's some good news here, you will see a spike up, I guess, in the price. And maybe it's a bit interesting to see also, because it was down more than 12.5% earlier today. I think it was down to 18 or something, and then it got a bit up again. So maybe you can argue that like 0.90, where it is at now, approximately, could be like a bottom. But it's hard to say here. It doesn't look very good, the chart right now. This was the daily. Here's the weekly. Yeah, around 90 maybe. Still has a way to go for be oversold though on the RSI. Bit tricky, this one. Down here, it's tricky down here. Because the reason I'm saying that is this has potential. This has there's an opportunity here, in my opinion. As always, do your own research. We are not recommending anything. Don't buy based on this. This is just for conversation and education and entertainment, hopefully. So yeah, you have to do your own work. But feel free to comment on the chat, or if you watch this after live stream, comment and let us know what you think about the BNED. It would be very beneficial to have a conversation going with them, I think. All right, let's move on. FSM. Silver mines. Engage in the exploration, extraction, and processing of precious and base metal in Latin America. It operates through the following segments. Minera Bateos. Yeah, all his names. So it's precious metals and basic materials resources. And you see the market cap is pretty high already. Share price at $3. And I mean, it looks good at the first glance here. It looks like a stable company. There has been some revenue growth lately, but also pay attention to the capex here. The last 2 years has gone up. They've sold some assets here and not acquired too much. The debt has increased a little by little, but it seems to me that it shows up as safe here and doesn't issue shares in my sheet. So I think they have control of that debt. They trade below book. They have some cash on hand, and especially to cover the short term. And 1/3 of the total debt as well. You can see the operating cash flow compared to the share price isn't too bad on the last 2 years, and it's gone up as well. But then you have the free cash flow being not so positive, and on the longer term average is actually negative. So this would have to continue to generate cash, and yeah, you can see on the margins on the single years, operating cash flow, free cash flow, and net cash flow is a bit up, and the rest is down here. So, but below book though, and you can see book value steadily going up over these years. The gross margin is down, and keep in mind these are 3-year averages up here. Just interesting to pay attention to. It has been dropped a little bit here lately on a few things. And they have negative earnings, slightly positive on the 3-year average. Nothing too impressive. They have no dividend. But yeah, it would be interesting to see if they can keep this operating cash flow growing in the future. Oh, it's Canadian, so I don't have the access to the insiders or anything like that. We can check what people are writing. Significant margin expansions in Q3. This was written in December 2023. So it's pretty recent. There's a lot of hold ratings I see. And what did it do today? Yeah, down 12% today. Sinks as high cost forecast. Okay. Thursday trading spot report record overall production in 2023, warning faces consolidated costs as much as 20% higher in 2024. Okay. So then the margins will get hit probably, and maybe you will not see this operating or the free cash flow and operating cash flow increase. So that's why you get the drop today. In October, it was at 264, 250. In September, close to 2. You can see it has these moves up to 4, and then it pulls back, up back to 4, pulls up back to 4. So maybe you want to trade this. There's definitely like some resistance here, a bit over 4. But never got overbought either on the weekly. Bit overbought in this period on the daily. And now heading for, look at this volume increase today. Got a message from Ranger Dane. He's making fun of me because I muted myself again. It's always nice with encouraging messages, you know. So I will go for a hat trick on Saturday. You will see on stream. I will mute the shit out of this channel again, so I get the hat trick 3 times in a row. I don't even know what's going on. Like I just changed the screen before. Just before I checked it, and I tried the same, and it didn't mute, and then I go live and it does mute. So I have a problem I need to fix. But yeah, I will fix it. Don't worry. And I will pay attention. I was thinking to myself, pay attention if you're muted or not, and then yeah. But yeah, I will try to do it. I will try to get a hat trick 3 times. Anyways, let's check these comments on FSM. So far, everything looks good and stock is down 10%. Yeah, that's how it is sometimes. Yeah, they're talking about the cost and cost guidance and all that stuff that we saw in the other article. But interesting to see that it goes up to 4. Some people here are taking some profits. Yeah. No, I think I need this to be even cheaper. It's interesting to see the cash generation on the operating on the operations. It's you see the book value, and it's Canadian, so I don't have the Q filing. But at least here in the fundamentals here on the sheet, it trades below it. I'm also a bit worried if it's actually going to happen that they have to increase the costs. It will crush the margins, I bet. But they have control of debt, so that's good. And it looks like a well-driven company. If you look at these years from here, maybe even here. But a bit slow maybe. You see some growth for sure in these years, which is nice job from management, but this needs a bit more in my opinion. And you see the last year negative earnings, that's not popular. And yeah, 18% to 52-week low. and it never, like we saw on the chart in the last year, never got much higher than 4. So this will need to pull back way more for me to get in, and especially now with that guidance from with the costs and everything that they talked about. So yeah, I'm not adding this to the tracker. Needs a bit more. But you can see this. Just based on these last 2 years, you could see why it has been up to 4 in my opinion. I think that's fair. Anyways, BTU. Oh, we have a comment. Sorry, I didn't watch. Sorry. Greg. Thanks for watching, Greg. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah. We have, and we even had more, but I messed up the stream and I muted myself, so they all disappeared. I had like 5 people watching, and then when I started to stream, I had I had quickly just me, just me watching. So yeah, I messed up a bit. Okay, 3 watching and 1 is me. Good evening, Greg. Thanks for tuning in. Feel free to, if you have some stocks you want me to pull up, feel free to send me the tickers. I'll try my best to go through the fundamentals and all that. If you have something, just let me know in the chat. To everyone else watching as well, feel free to just jump in here. Okay, so BTU. Coal, that's what we saw, right? In the dashboard, coal was a bit up today. Looks good here at first glance. 10% almost up today. Look at this chart. That doesn't look too bad, this chart. So the pandemic price was down here. Yeah, you would do well if you bought in at these levels. Anyways, look at here from May down at like 17. Not a crazy gain, but it's something. And the chart seems to hold up at least pretty well and slowly like just going up. Also here on the RSI. And a bit sideways. It's going to be interesting to follow that one. So 25 now, book value 26. Good year here on operating side. You can see also they have bought back shares if my numbers are correct, but overall the number has gone up. It's also safe actually. Second one in a row that turns out safe. And I mean, it depends on where you start, but I see the numbers are a bit messed up back here. I guess if you start from 2016, you can see some, of course it has fallen since then here on the equity growth, but in the last years, this is some nice growth, right? And you can see the acquisitions every year. And they've had some big ones too. So Peabody, I guess that's how you say it. Peabody Energy Corp. Engaged in the business of coal mining. Coal, which is a bit out of, it's not very popular to be in coal these days, right? It operates through the following business segments: Powder River Basin, Midwestern, US Western, US Seaborne. The Midwestern US includes Illinois and Indiana mining operations. The Western US reflects the aggregation of its New Mexico, Arizona, and Colorado mining operations. The Seaborne metallurgical covers mines in Queensland. Oh, so they are in Australia as well. Yeah, Australia is big on the coal industry. All right. So definitely interesting on the last year here, like maybe even the last 3 years. You see some good growth here. Also look at the free cash flow. $7. And even on the average, almost 4. This is 7-year average. And 5.5 on the operating side. Paying down debt. Look here. They pay down debt, and now the short-term debt is 13 million, and they have cash to. They have a lot of cash. And this is based in St. Louis, okay. Sorry, Greg. It is Nirvana. Yeah. I will pull it up. Just let me go through this one. I will do that one next. All good. Look at the short interest though, 13%. It's a bit interesting. Let's check what people are saying here. These are millions. Oh, they are millions, okay. They have a little bit of a weird stock structure. Yeah, they are preferred. Okay. Looks a bit more messy than I first thought here. Okay, let's check here. Bang for the buck. Bang for the buck, I like that name. Let's check out Bang for the Buck's article. It's recent too. 15th of January. Plus there's some comments here. Okay. He has a buy rating, up 7% almost since the article. Peabody Energy is the largest coal mining company in the US with significant production in Eastern Australia. BTU has 4 different business segments with majority of production in the Powder River Basin. The seaborne thermal and seaborne I don't know these words, so don't make fun of me if I say something wrong. Metallurgical segments have been the main contributors to adjusted EBITDA, with a focus on expanding the seaborne metallurgical segment in the future. Off the beaten path, blah blah. This is a cool picture. At least you have that. You have a cool picture here. That's bullish, right? Let me know if you know about this company. I have heard the name, but I am not familiar with the. He said it was the biggest one in the USA, so I'm sure people, if you are from USA here, you've heard about this, right? Substantial amount of production in Queensland, New South Wales, Australia, apart from its production in the US. Okay. I used to live close to a railway in Australia, and they had these trains delivering coal. Very long and loud trains. There's some good figures here. Sorry, I just have to read through it because I'm not familiar with this. Go and read the article yourself. I'm not gonna read too much out loud right now. I like these charts though. Makes it very visual representations of the number. BNED has historically had a decent amount of debt, okay? Yeah, we saw that. They have paid it down. But it has used the strong cash flows over the last few years to deleverage. The company nowadays has virtually no financial leverage with a substantial cash position. We saw all this. And a deeply negative net debt position. There is also a large restricted cash position. I saw that in the filing. Why did I exit out of the file? They had restricted cash here. Here. To caution long-term liabilities. Company is committed to returning 65% of the free cash flow to shareholders. There is a small regular dividend per share in quarter, which equates to a dividend yield of 1.3%. For most of the capital has in 2023 been allocated to shareholders via buybacks. We saw that as well. Even though historically it's up still, but it's nice to see that they are doing that. Plus paying down the debt. Yeah, almost 9% in 2023. Concerns and conclusion. Okay, Peabody Energy has large reserves in power with an average mine life of around 20 years there. The mine lives are substantially shorter for the operating mines in other more profitable business segments. It's not a near-term concern, but still something that likely needs to be addressed with some more capital investments over the next 3 to 5 years. I do expect many of the mine lives to be extended over time. The main concern with Peabody is, in my view, the exposure to Australia, where the local governments in Queensland and New South Wales have both recently raised the royalties. Yeah, Australia is trying very hard to move away from the coal industry, I think, because they get a bit of people put some pressure on them to move away from that industry, you know. The announced increase for 2024 in New South Wales is more marginal, which is an increase of, yeah. Okay. The majority of Peabody's production is in the United States, but much of the high margin sales come from Australia. With that said, it is worth keeping in mind that the 2023 figures have already been impacted by the new Queensland royalties, and the New South Wales royalties will have more of a marginal impact. Peabody looks to generate over 800 million free cash flow during 2023. So it is probably fair to say that the high royalties are already reflected in the current share price. Okay. A good buy from here for anyone who's looking to increase. Okay. What's the comment? Oh yeah. I like really charts that provide a great overview. I agree. Bang for the buck. He knows how to write the articles. Interesting. All right, I think actually I will add this to the tracker. But I saw he had the buy rating. In my opinion, it needs to be a bit cheaper. Keep in mind though that he wrote that article when it was at 23, and you might not get it cheaper, but I want it to be almost down here. You see, historically, it makes sense with the numbers. It's hard to say what you can. see, it needs to keep up the numbers, and maybe if they buy back the shares and control the debt, or maybe they can take on debt to expand or grow even more. I would need to check out like what the management have checked and everything, but that's why I add them to the tracker so I can have keep an eye on them. I don't know. Sector. It doesn't mean that I gonna get it, because I don't think I will. But I mean the upside, it can go to like 40, 45, maybe even more. It depends, but I would need it to be a bit cheaper, to be honest. So just if you haven't watched before, when we put this price, like entry price, it doesn't mean that that's a buy. We have conditional formatting and stuff in place. It's just more like an alert to catch our eye if it does drop. So so that's why I'm putting it a bit low also. I'm gonna give it a medium just because I'm not confident that you will get the opportunity to get in much lower here. Attractive fundamentals. They have control of the debt and have delever and have used the good cash generation in the last years to delever. They have also bought back shares. Some risk tied to margins being a bit crushed in their Australia operations. Seems like a solid company. Pay attention to insiders and new news. Would have to drop a bit. Nah, I'm not gonna write that there because I have it there. But I just forgot we didn't check whale wisdom for these. Nothing too familiar here. So is this like a activist or? I don't know this guy, but interesting to see. Maybe he's on the board. I don't know. Anyways, I can check that later. I don't like this. They're only 1%, the insiders. And coal, it's a risk in itself, I think. But we saw they were a bit up today. So I'm just gonna save that there. and then add it to the tracker so I can pay attention to it. Waiting for a drop there. Pay attention to it. All right. Let's. I will pull up the one you told me about, Greg. So do you know anything about them, Greg? Do you have anything to share? Daily Dart has done an article on Seeking Alpha recently. We will check that out then. Greg, are you based in the US or what? So I-80 Gold Corporation provides gold production and development services. It focuses on mining mid-tier gold producer status with production growth through the potential addition of the phases 1 and 3 projects at South Arturo and advancing the development of the company's Getchell and McKay Cove projects. They are based in Reno. For some reason I see that my numbers are a bit... First and foremost, I don't have too much data here, so I don't have so much to go off, Greg. And my data is like, when you get these numbers, it messes up a little bit some of the conditional formatting stuff. But I see that it has grown, but it has also grown a lot in share count. So I guess they are, this is like a growth story. UK, okay. I don't know much about the technical details of gold mining, but they are a junior miner that Taylor Dart. Yeah, let's just go straight to the article. Well, I can see that they have been growing, capex as well. They are roughly around book right now. But I'm a bit concerned with this lack of cash generation. And you see the debt is also up. Short term is 20 million and they have 37 in excess cash right now. So in my opinion, like straight off these numbers, I think I would need to track them more closely and see kind of where it lands a bit, because I don't have so much data to go off of. And it's a bit up and down, but I can see the growth. I'm a little bit concerned that they are diluting here though, to create that growth. But I mean, there are just a number of ways you can do this on. But I would like to see more positive cash generation, of course. But we can move to the article. And they've had a good preliminary results from their exploration drilling, okay? So there's some... here's Taylor Dart. Oh yeah, I see he has a couple of... Whoa, there's a lot of comments here. Alright. He has been bullish for a while though. What is the chart doing? Trades close to 52-week low. Got a bit oversold here. Turn around, but now back down. This is a bit hard also because there's not so much to go off of here, but right now it looks a bit bullish. Sorry, a bit bearish. Just on the chart. But this would be like one of those that they just have to prove themselves. Okay, let me read through this then, because I don't know, Greg. And feel free to comment if you know, if you have any information. IAT Gold Corporation has had a tough start to 2024 after a significant decline in 2023, but the share price performance doesn't reflect the strong progress made over the past year. Meanwhile, the company has a very busy 2024 on deck that I would describe as transformational, with significant resource growth, further production growth, and a possible joint venture deal. In this update, we'll dig into recent drill results, the 2024 outlook, and whether the stock is worthy of an investment. I'm just curious to go back and see what he wrote on his first article and how it has performed since then. So the first one I can find, the price was like 2.8 and it's down roughly 30% from then, and he had a strong buy recommendation. So he's saying here, and this is from 2022, I see more than 140% upside when the stock was almost at 3. That's a long article. I'm sure it's a good article, but I'm not gonna read all of that now. I don't recall last time I saw an opportunity this interesting outside of Kirkland Lake Gold in 2017. While it might seem too good to be true and a complex story, it's a relatively simple hub and spoke model that's been employed on the neighbor trend with multiple mines. Bonus to the thesis, of course, is the CRD potential with the possibility to process this on site by retrofitting the Ruby, which looks to be completely ignored by the market despite world-class grades in first pass drill results at Hilltop. So if we see further weakness in the stock, I would strongly consider adding to my position. Okay. Would be interesting to see if he has done that then. Because keep in mind, this one was from 2022, and this is the recent one from just now a few days ago. Long article too. If this is interesting, I'm of course going to read this in depth and go through everything this guy writes, because at least if he's right or wrong, I don't know, but at least he seems to know the industry and what to look for. So I would have to read this in depth. And there's an interview.
Hello, everybody, and thank you.
30-minute interview that could be worth watching. At least it seems to have been, there's a lot of interest here. This guy is asking if he is worried about the further dilution, and Tail Dart is replying, I would think they would opt for a bridge loan or Orion accordion that's available 50 plus million versus share dilution at these levels, especially with the deal so close. Yeah. Now, Greg, I don't know. I understand that I understand that this, according to these people, have potential, and I can see the growth. I would need to read these articles were so long, so I would need to read through them more properly. And I'm not gonna do that on the stream because they are so long and my English is terrible. But definitely interesting. Thanks for the tip. And I can definitely see that this guy knows his stuff, of course, and that there are a lot of near-term catalysts that can make the price rise. But like in the style I usually do, I'm a bit worried that I have so little data here because it's a bit hard to interpret the numbers, and I don't like this recent cash generation or lack of cash generation, but I understand that that's the whole thesis, that they're gonna transform the business into be more profitable and like get new deals and stuff like that. And if they take on new more loan, it's like there's also risks here, of course. They have 290 in total liabilities. And I see the short interest, 7%. It's not crazy high, but it's something to pay attention to. Okay, Greg is saying, in general, gold miners seems to be an unfavored sector. Yes, at the moment. So now might be the time to quietly get interested in them if we predict going forward that gold will do it. Yeah. That's a point. But then which one will you pick? And okay, this is a candidate, but for my style, I would need more data to add it to my tracker. And saying that, I'm well aware that I might miss out on this because I saw there's the interest here. You don't see this so often, or like all articles have a lot of comment. A lot of articles are from Taylor Dart, so I guess he brings with him his following. But he has been bullish for a while though, and so far, unless he has averaged down a lot, he must be in the red. Just putting up the gold chart here. This is like the gold trust. A nice looking chart. Gonna be interesting to see where this goes from here. If it keeps dropping, it can take out this low. But if it turns around now, it can be viewed as bullish. And here it got overbought. You know, the trend is a bit up, but it's at a point here now that it can, like, just based on this chart. But that's what I'm saying. It's not so much to go off of here, but I will definitely have to read through that article to. Maybe I will add it to the tracker because of what I saw on Seeking Alpha. But right now I will leave it. But thanks, Greg. Thanks for bringing it up and sending it to us so we can talk about it. And feel free if you have some comments, or if you feel like I have skipped something, which I probably have. Feel free to bring it up. And if you have more tickers, just throw them my way. I will go to SIFY now, I think. Whoa. These numbers look a bit weird. And it's because it's an Indian company. Okay, I don't trust my numbers then when they are from India, or not India because of that. But when I get foreign companies, my numbers get like this, and this is not accurate. So I'm just gonna move on. Get like this, and this is not accurate. So I'm just gonna. So the last one from the Daily Movers is MDC. Bit high on the market cap, but look at the chart, up 20% almost today. This is a nice looking chart. This is a nice looking chart. Look at this. 27 to 62 now since September. And right here at the top after the pandemic. Isn't it interesting how you often see stuff like this? So there's some resistance here. Overbought. If it drops down now and continues to be also overbought, there's a lot of volume today. So something must have happened today. Ranger Dane is in the chat. Tough to predict a commodity like gold though. Yeah, it is. And I don't know. It's definitely interesting when you see that article, and I didn't read through it all. But he has been bullish for a while as well. And I'm just there are other gold mines also that can be interesting. So who do you pick? I would probably, for my style, think that I have too little to go off there. Right now at least. But I'm not saying that it won't work out. It can very well work out. That's what I said a bit earlier, like, you're allowed to be wrong, right? And of course you're allowed to be correct, but it's not easy to be successful in spaces like this. But it's just how it is. So 4.5 billion in market cap is a bit steep. Trades now, like we saw on the chart, at the 52-week high. So this is already a bit expensive. Trades high over book. This is a home building company, and I'm not sure what's going on here, but they have very good numbers here though in last year, historically paying a dividend. So let's check the news. Oh, they are being bought. They're being bought up. All cash transaction with an equity value of 5 billion from a Japan-based house manufacturer, Sekisui. MDC shareholders will receive $63 per share in cash, which represents approximately 19% premium to MDC's closing stock price on January 17. Okay. All right. Too late. Too late to the party there. I'm not sure. Before the 18% gain. If you had noticed this, you had some opportunities here. But unfortunately, I didn't notice it. Okay, anyway, so we're just gonna skip this then because it's a bit too late for this. Let's go to the tracker and check some news. And by the way, like the zeros here means that there are news today or press releases, and then the numbers are just like how many days ago the news arrived. So this in HCC has a press release today. Let's just quickly go through it. Just our earning announcement. You see that things haven't moved that much today, I think. Visat had a big gain the other day. No, sorry, I'm confusing again. All right. Bry, we talked about Bry. I talked about Bry with Robert on the stream last week. Bry is interesting, but nothing too much here. There's not too much movement in the tracker today. So I said I wanted to go through a bit on GTE and ALTO, because I've seen some commentary. Also, Dane is asking Greg if he used technicals typically for gold or more macro environment stuff like rates. I will just quickly pull up GTE and ALTO. Right. Press the wrong one. No, because I saw there was some commentary. Starboss is heavy in GT. I think he has said that himself on these articles here. He's cutting out something from Barron's here. Energy stocks are out of favor. GT is if you don't know about GT, they operate in South America. And it's a oil company based in Canada. And you see, they also have they have some operations in Ecuador, and right now there's a ongoing situation in Ecuador that is, I'm sure, it doesn't help GT right now. So that's also something to keep in mind, because there's some hectic things going on there in Ecuador right now. That is, it looks terrible. Anyways, energy stocks are out of favor. Fund managers had less exposure to energy stocks heading into 2024 than at any time since December 2020, according to the latest Bank of America Global Fund Managers Survey. With energy prices slipping, investors went from 4% more exposure to energy stocks than their benchmarks in November to 11% less exposure in December, the largest month-to-month decline since January 2016. That is interesting though, and this is from Barron. And he's saying still it isn't always bad for stocks when they're out of favor. Investors who bought energy stocks in December 2020, the last time they were this out of favor, did very well. So it's a point to keep in mind. And I saw they have they've bought back even more shares. They have a website. I'll just pull up the website because it's good to have. And I think they update it weekly. So last one was 12th of January, and that's what he refers to here, that they have bought back even more shares. Another buyback report came out today. They bought the max number of shares they were allowed to each of the last 5 trading days. It may not seem like much, but 73,000 shares a week is 3.5 million in a year. On 34.6 million outstanding, and they bought a few blocks as well since announcing the buyback on Halloween of last year. They bought back roughly 3.33% of the shares in only 70 days, which is good, right? Thanks to a few choice block buys, and have already therefore completed 1/3 of the 10% share buyback. And they've done that fairly quickly, right? And they have also done it while the price has fallen. So that might turn out very well for them, you know, if they continue to do this. And there's some pushback on Starboss's comment here now. I see some people are a bit frustrated here, but he seems bullish still. I added a fair amount this past week on the drop to 540. I figured out it will be a double bottom, and I haven't sold any on the bounce. And it represents like 14.5% of his portfolio net liquidation value now. So he is heavy in this. But of course it has dropped way below 540 now. Right now it trades at below 5. I'm actually still up on it, but I'm getting close to just a break even right now. And I'm not sure if I'm gonna add more before I see that some... I'm pretty happy with what I have there right now. That's what I'm trying to say. $483 right now, so. But there's a lot of things I like here at GT. Like they are buying back shares very heavily now and in a quick tempo. They do generate cash, but not so much free cash flow here. The earnings was a bit bad on the latest filing, but they are a bit levered. And there is foreign risk. But I think this can turn around. And also, of course, the oil price has fallen a lot in this period. So there's a lot of things right now that affects the stock or the company. Yeah, I saw that they were arguing a bit. But I think Starbucks was... his comment were good. Anyways, just a little bit of update on GT, and then to Alto, my biggest position. I saw just in had a tweet the other day where he said, at least for me, it was the first time I saw him take like an actual stand on this. Maybe I've just missed it and that he has done it before, but I saw on his stream, he had a stream and like a Q&A on Alto and PBI, where on Alto he wasn't, it seemed like he hadn't made up his mind if they should sell the Western assets or not at that time, but now he tweeted that he thought they should. And he giving like updates on the crush margin and stuff like that. Ethanol crush margin just flipped positive. The last time there were sustained positive crush margins in January, February was 2018. Alto needs to sell here. This is pretty strong wording. That's why I'm bringing up. Like Alto needs to sell the Western plants, which slims down project CapEx and then focus on carbon sequestration and just running the peaking plants. It seems like he has made up his mind now that on that they need to sell them, which I agree with. The whole thing here is the carbon sequestration project in peaking plants. That's the location that the thesis is a bit built around, right? And then of course I saw in the article here, and I've talked with Dane about this many times now. We are both in Alto, by the way. And Justin is saying at this point it is a show me story. Alto will not get the credit from the market until they actually announce the results. And if you don't know the story here, they messed up pretty bad on the Q3 report, where people expected them to have a very good quarter, and then it ended up being a very bad quarter, and then there has been silence ever since. So that's of course not good at all from management. So they need to show us something, and you know, maybe we will get an update in January on something about. I mean, they need to get on the ball and understand that what they did in Q3 was like they need to change, because that was just ridiculous. It's hard to believe that they did what they did, to be honest. But it's not all bad. Management has also proven themselves in the past, in my opinion, that they have done some good things. Like in the pandemic, they managed to turn the transformation of the company around quickly. You can call that a bit luck because of the ethanol and the anti-buck and all that stuff. But they did it, and that from that actually grew the thesis that we have, right? And then they have talked about this carbon sequestration project for a long time, and they seem to do at least a very thorough job on that, and like slowly moving forward and checking out all possibilities and options. And then, you know, that's what we are waiting for, an update there on what they're going to land on and what they're going to do, and if they're going to do the right move. So it's not done yet, but so far they seem to like at least consider all options, and yeah, and that was one of the good things, I think, on the Q3 report, that they had some updates on the carbon sequestration project that were a bit more concrete than what they have had in the past. And that just because we are getting closer to the date, which is like Q2, Q3 this year, where they should come with some news around that. And that's kind of what I wait for. I'm prepared that Q4 can be brutal as well. Just based on last Q3 was such a game changer here, and but it got me an opportunity to average down, and we have to see in the future if that was a good choice or not, because it went almost up to 3 again after pretty quickly, but now of course it's down again. So I think someone is selling now and has had enough of this company. So yeah, it's definitely interesting to follow Justin. He's an excellent analyst, and he has followed ALTO for many years. He knows what he's talking about. He has been in contact with management many times. He's not happy with them. He think they he think the same like I said now, that was terrible. But he still sees value, and like he say, it's like a show. We need to we need to gain back the confidence. They had all opportunities to show us good results, and then they messed it up. So yeah, that's just a quick update on ALTO. But interesting to see Justin be a bit clear here that they needs to sell the Western plants. To slim down the capex and then just focus on one place. And I don't think that's a bad option. And I haven't heard from Jeremy Raper. It would be interesting to hear from him again. He sent the activist letter in August, I think, something like that. Or July, June, July. Where he wanted them to sell the entire company. For around $6.50. Which seems attractive now. But I'm not sure if they're gonna ever do that. But I haven't seen him comment much on ALTO after. So it will be interesting to hear from him as well. Ranger Dane is saying lot of excess corn coming through. Yeah, I saw that also on one of the Twitter posts. There's a lot of things that is interesting here. For sure. But it's like just in the back of my head that management job, it was so terrible. So yeah, we just need to wait and see here. But around now, like $2 could be a good entry. Could. I added last time below 2. I'm not sure if I will add again now. I need to see something before I go in with this is a heavy position for me. So I need to I need to see a bit more now before I think I go even more heavy. I want to spread the bets out a bit more. So yeah. No, I think that's it for the stream today. Thanks to Greg for using the chat and asking some questions and giving us a ticker. Definitely interesting to watch that one. I'm going to try to read through some of those articles. Thanks to Ranger Dane who tunes in. Solid performance as always. Yeah, and I hope I will try to mute myself on Saturday as well, so I have 3 in a row. That would be like a YouTube record, I think, for being an idiot. So yeah. Dane is saying there is some good miners out there to look into. Yeah, for sure it is. And then he agrees with me that we need to go for 3 mutes in a row now. So perfect news short for us. Yeah. No, but I think I will call it a day for today. It's a bit late where I live now. So you will see Dane and myself on Saturday. The schedule is on our page. So just go to the page and check the streaming schedule there. And we will do like a weekly summarization of the week on Saturday. Maybe we'll talk some BNED, maybe some more GT, ALTO, things we have already looked at, because things are interesting right now, and that you might have some opportunities when things are so red that you see now around, you know. So yeah, I think Saturday will be interesting. If we have sound, I might mute the whole thing. All right. See you guys. See you.